Good morning and welcome to Korea Today, live from Seoul.
Seoul is mulling over expanding the Korean Air Defense Identification Zone to include its territory, Gyeonggi-do. China's newly announced defense zone will take center stage when officials from the two sides meet tomorrow.
And yesterday was not a good day in terms of accidents here in Korea. I'll tell you more in the headlines.
And the Korean government is said to be likely to ask for a key interest rate cut. We'll have the details on In Print.
And Korea is about to launch a new taxi service to help passengers feel safer in the cab. I'll tell you more about it coming up.
It's not only one of the most popular tourist destinations, people are also seeking Jeju Island for its medical treatment. With scenic natural beauty and the ultimate healing experience, we take off to Jeju. And the cold weather is not enough to deter gung-ho campers in Seoul. Camping sites deep in the city that offer everything you need. Camp and glamp out in the winter beauties of Seoul on Wednesday, November 27, 2013.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good to have you with us on Korea Today on this Wednesday morning. So the results are out.
Yes, the college scholastic ability test that the test takers took earlier this month, the results are out. And many of the test takers, they say that it was the hardest one, harder than last year, some of the repeat takers as well. But there were 8 students, test takers, who perfected this. They got the perfect score on the CSAT.
Right, we saw the test and how anyone can get the perfect score on that test, and 8 of them too. It's just beyond me, really.
That's right, and now the crunch time has begun again because they have to start filling out their applications.
Right. The application process for regular admissions will begin on the 19th of next month until the 24th. So good luck to all the test takers out there. The race to get into the university of choice is almost over. You're near the finishing line.
All right,
so
good luck to all of you out there. Now we'll go to Na Hyung-kyung for our headlines.
The aerial space above Korea-controlled Gyeonggi-do, a submerged rock mass lying within Korea and China's overlapping exclusive economic zones, is currently not included in Korea's air defense zone, or the KADIZ. But as you heard at the top of the hour, Seoul says it is looking into expanding the zone so that the area, which was recently included in China's newly announced air defense zone, is included in the KADIZ. In light of the air defense zone debate, it was also brought to attention that Korea's southernmost Mara-do Island, located southwest of Jeju Island, had been included in Japan's air defense zone.
Our territorial waters were expanded from 3 to 12 nautical miles after the completion of the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. So it had stretched over into Japan's air defense zone.
The Defense Ministry also added Seoul was never obligated to notify Japan of Korean aircrafts entering the zone and has had no problems so far. The air defense zone controversy began after Beijing announced this past weekend it had established a new air defense area over the East China Sea that overlaps with Korea's as well as Japan's. The European Union has warned Korea to improve its surveillance over illegal and unregulated fishing. The EU's fisheries chief says Korea will face trade restrictions if it doesn't do more to crack down on illegal fishing. The EU also handed out warnings to 2 other nations, namely Ghana and the Caribbean island of Curacao. Given that the EU is the world's biggest trading bloc, experts say possible sanctions could hurt Korea's economy. Now, in response, Korea's fisheries ministry says it was regrettable that such warning was given out, adding that it has reviewed revising the law to strengthen fishing regulations set to go into effect early next year. Tuesday was not a good day in terms of industrial accidents here in Korea. A fatal gas leak was reported Tuesday evening at a power plant unit inside a Hyundai Steel manufacturer in Tangjin, Chungcheongnam-do, some 120 kilometers south of Seoul. There were 9 casualties. At least 1 is reported dead and other is in critical condition. All are hospitalized. And in Gurogu, southwestern Seoul, a fire at a construction site killed 2 people and injured 9 others. It took around half an hour to extinguish the blaze, and witnesses say a thick blanket of smoke remained for over an hour. At least 270 nearby residents and construction workers were evacuated. Authorities will start an official investigation to find out the exact cause on Wednesday. Lawmakers were finally able to wrap up reviewing last year's budget execution and will put the bill to vote at Thursday's plenary session. And now they have begun reviewing next year's budget. But with mounting political tension over other issues, sources say it will be hard for legislators to meet their aimed deadline of December 16th to pass the budget bill. And in an attempt to reduce tensions, a group of senior lawmakers from ruling and opposition parties met on Tuesday.
How can you accept each other's demands if you don't understand where they are coming from? So we plan on expanding what was discussed in our meeting today to our respective party leaderships.
The purpose of today's meeting was to first restore politics. The ruling and opposition parties must meet more frequently to talk. Isn't that what politics is about?
Now, the political arena is currently tangled up with issues such as progressive Catholic priest Park Chang-shin's controversial statement regarding North Korea, as well as the main opposition party's demand to form a special investigative body on the spy agency's alleged election meddling. The Saenuri party is still discussing the DP's request and has not given an official answer yet.
And good morning, everyone. As you heard in the headlines, the Korean government is preparing its response to China's recent announcement of its air defense zone, together with the instruction that countries entering China's claimed airspace are required to report to Beijing ahead of time. And the story is bound to develop. And in fact, Jungang-ilbo has a projection of sorts of how this war of wits will play out. We'll go ahead and take a look at this story down here. The headline reads, Korea sandwiched in Air Defense Identification Zone 2. And the article goes on to report that there are voices within the Japanese government to realign its air defense zone to include the Korea-controlled Gyeonggi-do Islands. And as seen in the inserted map here, Korea then is left sandwiched between Japan's suspected drive to the west, noted in red there, and China's push for control to the east, noted in green, to include skies over the West Sea. Now, it suspects a complex struggle to materialize between the 3 East Asian nations, especially as Gyeonggi-do is a symbol of sovereignty for Korea, and the West Sea plays a factor in South Korea's national security, including the North Korea factor. Now, the front page image takes us to the lower house of Japan's parliament, and it looks like a group of lawmakers are opposing to something. And we'll turn to our next paper for the details on that. Joseon-ilbo has a related picture, and the picture title reads, Japan returning to the past, secrecy bill that limits right to know passes the lower house. The caption goes on to say that Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, flanked by his cabinet members, is applauding the passage of this so-called secret protection bill at the more powerful lower house, despite strong resistance from the opposition party. Now, critics have warned that this bill, which is expected to turn into law in the current session, would drastically broaden the definition of what is considered an official secret. Consequently, journalists and government officials seen to have publicized such state secrets could face jail time of up to 5 years and 10 years respectively, effectively, thus limiting public information, critics say, which would be a step back in the country's democracy. The caption adds that various polls have shown that 60% of the public also have opposed the bill. The Abe administration, meanwhile, has said that the bill is designed for the safety of the people and necessary to set up a U.S.-style National Security Council to coordinate security policy. And scooting on over to 동아일보 now, its big headline takes us to the education sector, and it reads, international schools in FEZs to raise local student ratio to 35 to 40%. FEZs are, of course, free economic zones, and there are several, including those in Incheon, Daegu, and Gyeongsangbuk-do. The article reports the government plans to suggest this revision officially next month following a related debate this week, and currently only 30% of the total student body in international schools are allowed to be Korean students, but given the lack of foreign students and the resulting financial difficulties at the schools, the paper says it is highly likely that that ratio will be upped to a figure between 35 and 40%. And we'll go ahead and wrap things up with a look at our business daily for today. Korea Economic Daily's main headline reads, government likely to ask Bank of Korea for interest rate cut. Now, the article cites the Strategy and Finance Ministry's goals for the first half of 2014, set to be announced mid-December, in which it plans to emphasize a proactive fiscal policy and request another cut in the key interest rate for a definite economic revitalization. But the paper reports the central bank is not expected to welcome this request, as it has been watching for the opportune time to raise the benchmark rate. And in fact, the inserted graph shows the downward trajectory of the key interest rate since July of last year, especially as the country has finally been showing signs of economic recovery. Now, you'll see here that the key interest rate has been left unchanged at 2.5% for the past 6 months. And while recognizing the signs of recovery, the government is concerned about the slow rise of consumer prices at the 1% range, which it says could lead to deflation. And with that, we'll wrap your look at what's in print on this Wednesday. Next up are your closing numbers from Tuesday's market action.
You might want to be all geared up on your way to work today. We're expecting snow later today, right?
That's right. Snow is forecast nationwide. You might want to start getting those snow chains in the trunk of your car.
And those snow boots, too.
That's right. That's right. Snow boots would help as well. And we're going to go over to Idami, who's joining us from the city of Yongin. And it seems that she's at a ski resort. We'll find out today's forecast with her. Good morning, Dami.
She's all ready to ski.
She's ready to snowboard or something,
yes.
right?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I am at a ski resort. I'm reporting live from Yongin, Gyeonggi-do. And I don't know if it's because of all the snow that I'm surrounded with, but today is another chilly morning. Current temperatures are at 2.5 degrees Celsius, and I'd love to say that later our highs are going to get warmer. But unfortunately, over in Seoul and here in the central regions, later in the day, our highs are only going to dip down to about 1 degree Celsius. Now, currently, we are expecting snow here in the central regions and in most parts of the nation. In Seoul, at max, the snow can pile up to about 7 centimeters, so do keep that in mind. Currently, there are heavy snow advisories that have been issued over in the southeast areas of Gyeonggi-do, also areas in Gangwon-do as well, but it might spread into other areas or regions of the nation, so keep a heads up for that as well. Now, later in the day, I suggest, for morning commuters, I suggest that taking public transportation might be the wise way to make a decision, and also get a jump or a head start to your day as well. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather around Korea. Daejeon will peak up to 5 degrees, Daegu and Gwangju at 6, Jeju at 12, and Busan the warmest at 13. Tomorrow is going to be the coldest day of the season, so make sure to bundle yourselves up from head to toe. That's all I have for the weather. I'll be back in the latter half.
Now, if you ever felt unsafe taking a cab at night by yourself here in Korea, you might be relieved to know that the government is planning on launching a new service, and not now, but maybe next year. All you need is your smartphone and NFC technology intact, apparently. Our Connie Lee joins me now to tell us more. So explain to us, what is this all about?
Well, it's called a safe taxi service, and like you said, you need a smartphone to use it because the service uses NFC technology, or near-field communication, which is like a wireless technology. And with this, passengers in taxis can instantly obtain information about the vehicle they're in and even send their GPS location to a friend or a family member via text to let them know about their taxi ride home. Let's take a closer look.
Whether you're grabbing a cab late at night or when the day is bright and early, you can soon feel a bit safer getting a ride with Korea's new Safe Taxi service. The service, which allows for easy sharing of journey information to your friends or loved ones, is set to launch nationwide come January. All you need to use it is a smartphone. It's a smart service that uses near-field communication technology, which enables the exchange of data between two devices.
To use this service, just place your smartphone about 10 centimeters away from the NFC tag inside the taxi. And then instantly, information on the vehicle and your exact departure location will pop up on the screen.
The NFC tag also stores the taxi's license plate number and the taxi company's contact information. And then passengers can easily share all of this information and their route with others via text message.
The service could help reassure my mom, who worries about me riding in a taxi alone.
Just download the Safe Taxi app onto the phone and you'll be good to go. The NFC chip inside the phone communicates with the NFC chip inside the tag on the headrest of the taxi seat.
The Science Ministry and our agency created this service so passengers can conveniently share information on their journey and feel more at ease when taking a taxi. Through this initiative, we also hope more people will become familiar with NFC technology.
This service works with all recent smartphones, except the iPhone. Unlike the phones by Samsung and LG, the Apple iPhone does not come equipped with NFC technology.
With a service like that, I think women especially will be interested in using it. I don't think I'll use it every time I'm in a taxi, but I probably will on days when I get off work late.
And it looks like taxi drivers also welcome the new service.
I think it's a great new service. As a taxi driver, I want my passengers to feel safe while they're in my car.
For starters, about 35,000 taxis nationwide will be equipped with the NFC technology by January.
And out of the 35,000 taxis that will be launched nationwide, 30,000 of them are actually in Seoul, and which is about 30% of all taxis in the capital city. And you know how else this service is useful? If you leave something behind in the taxis, you can actually
do all the time,
right? Your cell phone or maybe a scarf. And now that it's winter, you can contact the taxi car's information because you do have the taxi car information and the license plate number of the taxi, so you can find your lost items.
Okay, so let's say if I'm hailing a cab starting next January, will I be able to recognize those that are equipped with the service?
Well, unfortunately, no. Officials were thinking about making these taxis more recognizable, but maybe by having some sort of label on them, but that idea was actually met with opposition from some taxi drivers. So these taxis actually look the same as others, but if this service works well, officials say that this could change in the future.
Okay, so it will be expanded and all taxis hopefully will have the service equipped.
Right.
But the NFC technology, I mean, somehow it sounds familiar, but for some people it's not, but it's the technology that's used in mobile credit cards, right?
Right, you're absolutely right. And actually, our so-called transit cards, or transit smart cards, the cards we use to pay for subway rides or bus rides, they actually use this technology as well. You can look at NFC as something like wireless or Bluetooth technology, except NFC uses short-range frequencies, meaning data can only be exchanged between very short distances, between like 5 to 10 centimeters. And the government is actually pushing for more places to be equipped with NFC capabilities. And right now, there are only a select number of locations where you can see this in work, such as at bus stops in Gyeonggi province. You can see here where passengers can see NFC tags at stations to get bus schedules in real time. Also, there are some retail stores where you can pay using your smartphones. And also, megabox movie theaters in Seoul also have this technology in use, where people can reserve tickets and enter theaters using this NFC technology. And most recently, museums in Seoul have been using NFC capabilities where visitors can obtain exhibition information using their smartphones.
What would you do without a smartphone these days, right? So how many people are using the NFC technology though? Because I currently am not, although I should be.
Well, it's hard to calculate that, and as you said earlier, not a lot of people know about it. And according to a survey conducted last year by the Korea Internet and Security Agency, only about 30% of the people surveyed knew what NFC was. And when in actuality, most people with a smartphone can take advantage of this technology. If you take a look at a graph here, recent numbers from the Science Ministry show that about 71% of Koreans own a smartphone. And out of all those smartphones, more than 75% of them have these NFC capabilities. So if you own a smartphone that is not an iPhone, unfortunately, you can most likely take advantage of this NFC technology.
All right, thank you. Good to know. And you do need to stay behind and show me how to work this, because I don't have an iPhone, but I do have an Android-based phone. And thank you, Connie, for your report.
You're welcome.
Yes, you have more to tell me later on after the show.
All right.
But do stay with us, because still ahead on Korea Today, Chef Andreas Krampel will join us to show us some dishes made with Korean cabbages known as pechu. They are the key ingredients today in creating some healthy dishes live on Korea Today. You know, pechu makes up for vitamins and minerals that you easily run short of in the cold winter, so do stay tuned.
Time now to go on a medical tour. Today we're going to take you to Jeju Island. Medical tourism is probably not the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Jeju Island, but apparently it's becoming increasingly popular with visitors who are looking for a healing experience both physically and mentally.
That's right. Recently, recuperation or health and well-being along the backdrop of Jeju Island has become a lot more popular than ever. We'll take a look at medical tourism in paradise.
In search of a special medical tourism experience, we fly to the southern end of the peninsula, where Korea's largest island and special self-governing province lies. With its beautiful natural environment, Jeju Island has been called the Island of Paradise. Nowadays, popular medical tourism programs allow you to experience Jeju's scenic beauty with all 5 senses. This is a resort located on the west side of Jeju Island. This resort is grand and spacious, with a large indoor pool and a duty-free shopping center. But there's something special here that draws in foreign tourists regardless of the weather or season.
Every year, our resort receives about 7,500 foreign guests. We especially focus on VIP services for our Chinese guests, so most of our foreign guests come from China, as well as Europe, the Middle East, and Japan.
It's the recreational leisure town that allows guests to enjoy lodging and leisure activities together. In the 750,000 square meter space, the resort has various facilities around the central lodging area. There's a golf course that received a lot of attention because it was designed by famous Scottish golfer Colin Montgomery. It's located in a warm, temperate forest so golfers can enjoy the natural forests of Jeju as they play their games. The symbol of Jeju Island and natural monument is the Jeju Jorangmal, which is a type of pony. So naturally, there is also a horse-themed park where you can watch riders perform and experience horseback riding as well. Both men and women love the outdoors war reenactment riding performance. Watching this washes away any worries or concerns tourists may have had.
After watching horses run wild in the beautiful nature of Jeju, I feel more relaxed. There is a boom for healing experiences these days, and I feel like I'm really healing in Jeju.
Another reason foreign tourists seek this resort is because of the beauty care center located within the resort. A famous beauty medical group opened a branch here last year. It's known as Jeju's top beauty medical center, dubbed the Anti-Aging Medical Beauty Center. A basic body treatment program includes a massage and spa, which is serviced in a private room. The main focus is to help the tourist relax ahead of receiving any aesthetic treatments.
The luxurious interior decoration is similar to what we see in Seoul. I especially like the hospital services provided by these employees. There are many luxury hotels in Jeju, so from now on, I'll be coming here during my vacations.
With a significant amount of Asian tourists, many request the favored special skincare treatments. Recently, the most popular treatment is the gold foil and nanomolecular hydration care.
It's my first time in Jeju Island. The first thing I noticed is the beautiful scenic natural environment. Next time, I hope to bring my family here. I think my elder relatives will appreciate Jeju Island a lot.
At first glance, it looks like an ordinary plastic surgery clinic, but you'll see this hospital's unique attraction now. They have what's called an 인상 clinic or features clinic, which seems odd for a plastic surgery hospital, but here they believe in enhancing a patient's natural features to reclaim their optimal health and appearance. These procedures may look like surgery, but they aren't. It's the hospital's focal non-surgical medical service performed by using special medical equipment to get rid of wrinkles and improve facial contours. Unlike other hospitals, here their goal is to create a new image of Korean beauty medical services and step away from the industry's existing focus on plastic surgery.
As you know, Korea leads the cosmetic surgery industry in the global market. Among famous procedures, Korea is unmatched not only in the field of eyelid surgery, but in fact in the field of anti-aging. By introducing Korea's top-quality medical procedures to VIP guests all over the world, we can increase the brand value of Korea's medical tourism.
Now we move over to the east side of Jeju Island, Seogwipo. The jade-colored waters and volcanic mountains harmoniously blend in with the scenic coastline. This hotel offers unique healing programs that combines Jeju's traditional culture and folk remedies. The stones used for the massages here are Jeju's basalt. Basalt is famous for its benefits on skincare and massages, so here they make sure to use real Jeju basalt and not imported rocks.
This massage uses basalt rocks from Jeju Island. We heat up the basalt rocks to increase blood flow and allow heat to seep deeply into the body for muscle relaxation and tension release.
They personally collect and process the rocks in Jeju and use oils collected from Jeju's horses and other local ingredients to create traditional remedies for skin rejuvenation, atopic dermatitis, and pain relief therapy. That's not all. They also offer folk remedy treatments that have their roots in the region.
This is Jeju's traditional therapy called Gyeonggi-do. This is a systematic massage therapy that has been passed down from the Chenerim granny.
Here is a place that uses folk remedy massages that have been passed down from the Chenerim granny, who is said to have cured the wounded with her touch. You can experience a distinct local massage in the detox program. After a nice, relaxing massage, tourists can enjoy the beautiful ocean front scenery from their outdoor hot spring, and with this, a full Jeju healing journey has been completed.
There is something special about Jeju Island that I've not experienced elsewhere. Most of all, it's comfortable and cozy, so it's a great healing experience.
Healing is the act of consoling the body and mind. By walking along and breathing in the beautiful nature of Jeju Island, many can experience rest and relaxation. This recuperating journey is slowly becoming one of Jeju's greatest attractions in medical tourism.
So how about we go and have some gold stuck on our face? I think it's a good idea, right? I mean, the number of overseas patients flocking into Jeju Island and enjoying some of its attractions like the Olekgil Trail is increasing. And the medical industry, tourism industry is still in its early stage on Jeju Island, but apparently the number of patients flocking in is increasing eightfold, nearly eightfold since 2009.
Right, and Jeju Island has been active in attracting visitors. And if you fly to Jeju Island directly, you don't need visas, and you can stay in Jeju for up to 30 days without a visa if you have a passport and round-trip tickets.
That's right, and indulge in the services provided by Jeju. Jeju's not stopping right there. They plan to open a medical facility, a medical center by 2018, which includes a medical center for senior citizens as well as recreational facilities, along with lodging as well. So they're going on with development of this.
And they're not stopping there.
Yeah? Is
They're
there
in
more?
the process, right? They're in the process of developing a website dedicated solely on medical tourism. And in the meantime, you can go to the Jeju Tourism Organization's website and get some information on medical and resorts as well as things to do.
Okay, there's so many things to do when it comes to medical tourism in Jeju that we are not going to stop here, as Jeju is not going to stop there. And we're going to continue this next week. Next week, we'll do a feature on part 2 of Jeju's medical tourism.
All I'm thinking right now is gold.
That's all you're thinking. You just want the gold pack,
on my
right?
face.
That's luxury with a capital
Okay, the
L.
mud was not enough, so you have to get the gold.
And
Right?
how about a hot stone massage?
That actually looks pretty soothing.
Right. All right, we'll leave that there and check out what's cooking or what's going to be cooking soon with our chef Andreas Kroffel, who is standing by with some pechu dishes. That's Korean cabbage that's used to make kimchi. Good morning to you, chef.
Good morning and welcome to the Korean kitchen. Yes, today I'm cooking 2 of the favorite dishes. I learned one in Korea and I learned one from my mom many, many years ago. So I'm using the traditional Korean cabbage, the baechu, for making a baechujeon. So it's a simple pancake. And the other one I use actually the yang baechu, what is also known as Chinese cabbage, round cabbage, and I make you my traditional German-filled cabbage roll. So good. For the first dish, it's a very interesting Jeon recipe. I actually use some minced prawn meat. Which
What's that again?
A
minced prawn meat. So prawn meat, what I chopped earlier.
Okay.
So it actually gives the base of the pancake butter. And then I put an egg in there. Well, let's put 2.
Did you prepare the prawn meat other than mincing it? So basically, did you season it with anything, or
No,
just
not really. I just actually 2 knives and I chop it up on my board.
Okay.
So that's one way of doing it. And then, so I mix that with the egg and I put just a little bit of flour to hold it together. And that's pretty much it. I put a little bit of flavoring, some chopped leek and some chopped spring onions I made earlier. And that's pretty much my basic butter, but it's very interesting because of the prawns in there. So when you pan fry, you have that prawn flavor and that little bite to it, and then the leaves gives you that crunchy part to it. So it's a very interesting recipe.
Already.
So we pan fried it a little bit later. Now to my cabbage rolls, what I prepared a little bit earlier. So what you're gonna do, actually take the whole cabbage, and I normally stick a knife or a fork in there, and then I dip the whole cabbage into boiling water, and after like 10 seconds the leaves starting to lose like that. So they actually come loose after a while, leaf by leaf. And this is your basic leaf, what you're gonna have for your preparation. Very simple. You actually just take a pork mince and beef mince. You can mix it any way you want, but my mom used to swear it's half and half the best way to do it. So 50% pork, 50% of the beef, and the most important ingredient actually is caraway seeds. So you got to have some caraway seeds. They're very pungent and very strong flavor, and it's a must-have in those cabbage rolls. So I put a little bit in the mince, chopped, and a little bit on top of it, and that's pretty much it. You just fold them in. That's quite large leaf, and then you roll them. That's a little bit bigger than the one I made earlier, and then. You actually can use a toothpick, or you can use a string. In this case, I make a string. Just go around it, very simple. Tie it up in a knot. So that helps them to hold together.
Okay. Are you going to fry that later or steam that?
It's actually a braised dish.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to pan fry them quickly to have a little bit of color and flavor. And then I put a little bit of stock or water. You can put that too. Put it in a dish and stuck it in the oven for about 45 minutes. That's it.
It's
really,
a little bit
really
similar
simple.
to Korean-style dumplings, but you're using
So that's
the
pretty
cabbage.
much it. So you tie it up like this.
All right, that's
and,
great.
You're ready to go.
Okay.
So they take about 45 minutes in the oven. That's all you need to do.
Okay. And we're going to see the final product later.
Must come
right?
over, yes. I braised them earlier. Of course, the time is not enough to do them live in the studio, but we'll make the Dijon for you now.
Okay.
And then I'm interested to hear what you think about my German.
Yeah, you
cabbage
have
rolls.
a few minutes, so we're going to be looking forward to that, and then we could stop Hyungyung's hunger there, because everyone's hungry right now, right? All right, we'll be back with Andreas Krompel later on Korea Today, and we also have our Seoul segment coming up. But still ahead on Korea Today, we're going to take a look at winter camping. I know it's a little bit cold, but apparently camping grounds that are offered in the urban jungles of Seoul have a little bit of freedom, warmth, and luxury. Enjoy a snug and intimate experience camping out in the mega capital. Camping and glamping coming up.
Well, we go from one delicious green to just simply on the greens or the golf course. After the season's last event, the CME Group title holders over the weekend, Park In-bi clinched the top earner for the second straight year, but for the first time, she finishes off the year ranked #1 in the world. Now, for the 33rd straight week, the South Korean is ranked #1 in the latest LPGA ranking, giving her the end of the year top spot. Now, she finishes with 11.79 points, with Suzanne Pettersson in second at 11.08. Park In-bi, despite her struggles in the second half of the season, started off the season with 3 straight LPGA major titles before falling short on the calendar Grand Slam. And moving on to football, where FC Seoul's head coach Choi Young-soo and the honorary president of the KFA, Jung Mong-jun, received top awards at the AFC Awards ceremony. Now, first off, the 43-year-old FC Seoul head coach Choi Young-soo earns the AFC Manager of the Year award as he led FC Seoul to a second-place finish during the AFC Champions League and another top-4 finish in the K-League Classic. Now, he becomes the second straight K-League Classic manager to win the award since Ulsan's Kim Ho-gun earned the award last season. Meanwhile, the honorary president of the KFA, Jung Mong-jun, receives one of the top awards, the Diamond of the Asia Award for contribution to Asian football. He becomes the first Korean to receive the award. And moving on to some Tuesday night's KBL action, we had one game that took place last night. So let's take a look at the Changwon LG Sakers take on the Jeonju KCC Aegis. Of course, going into the game here, first quarter of the game, both sides just terrible from the field as LG takes an 8-6 lead after the first quarter. Second quarter, a different story as Park Young-sang puts up 10 points for KCC, with 6 different LG players scoring on the quarter as LG takes a 33-21 lead going into halftime. Third quarter, here comes KCC outscoring LG 23-13 in the quarter thanks to Kang Byung-hyun's 12 points in the third. But Davon Jefferson answers back with 10 points in the fourth quarter of the game as LG hangs on to take this game 68-63. And finishing things off, quite a controversy with the Korean Olympic team at the moment after some budget cuts. Now, it was reported that the Olympic team is currently facing a 600 million won budget cut, or roughly $565,000 in cuts. However, 500 million won, or $471,000 will be on the daily stipend for the athletes. The athletes will have to work with 40,000 won per day, or less than $40, which is way too little for the athletes. However, officials added that with the budget cuts, some athletes might have to spend money out of their own pockets if needed, leading to negative responses from the fans. And that wraps it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
I've already taken out my snowboarding gear. I'm all excited.
Ready to ski
yes,
and
I'm
snowboard,
polishing
right?
my gears.
Right. Last year we sent Tommy to a ski resort. We were not impressed with her skiing, right? Maybe hopefully within the last year she has improved.
I don't think so.
We'll go back to her and see how well she skis.
All right, let's go over to Idami. All right, what are you going to show us today?
I'm back reporting live from Yangji Pine Resort, which is a ski resort located in Yongin, Gyeonggi-do. And look at all of the snow around me! It just goes to show that winter is really here. And when it comes to winter, there are many popular winter sports such as skiing and snowboarding. Now, most of the ski resorts here in Korea are located in the areas of Gangwon-do and Gyeonggi-do, also some areas down south, but also along the Baekdu-daegan, which is a mountain range that is spread from the north to south of the peninsula, and there will be ski resorts opening up one by one. Now, our ski season has found us a bit quicker than last year as winter has approached us quicker. And over in Gangwon-do, the ski resorts have already opened up their doors about 2 weeks ago. Here in Gyeonggi-do, they will start opening up their doors over the weekends. Here at Yangji Pine Resort, they are expecting to open their doors up this Friday, which is the 29th. Now, I want to go ahead and show you some of the things over here. And as you can see, there's lots of snow, but what we're seeing right now is a machine that makes some artificial snow, and this is how it's done. So when the temperatures reach down to 0 degrees Celsius, they mix the water with calcium chloride, and they put it into the machine, and it sprays it into the air, and what it does is it freezes and it falls down to the ground like snow. So here we go. We have some artificial snow right here. Now, what's great about artificial snow is that even when the weather gets a bit warmer, it doesn't melt as much as real snow would. But because of the high density level, they have to mix it with the real snow. If we look here at Yangji Pine Resort, there are also a lot of different levels and courses and slopes. So we have the yellow slope, which is for beginners, and then the orange route for intermediate, blue and red for intermediate and advanced, and then green for advanced. So right now I'm actually at the intermediate orange slope, and it's the perfect slope to upgrade your skills. And so here at Yangji Pine Resort, like I said, they are going to be opening up this Friday. And on the day of the opening, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., the lifts will be free of charge. And then starting the next day, they will be open until 11 p.m. So here at the resort, they also provide lots of different programs for families. This winter, why not make the most of it and go to your nearest ski resort? I'm Idami, Korea Today. Woo! Oh my goodness! Ah! Ah! Yeah!
So what, Tommy, is not a winter sports person? We love you all the same.
That's fine. Yes, we love her.
Yes, we do. Okay, she was no Toby Dawson last year, and I guess she's not going to be winning any awards with her snowboarding skills. But you can see that winter has set in and the weather is getting cold. Now, you can choose to stay indoors or hit the outdoors like Tommy, or you can choose to go camping or glamping. Joining us is Peter Bin to talk more about this. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Peter.
morning. Yeah.
I hope you snowboard better.
I hope so too. It's a little less embarrassing, this camping in the city. Yeah. So the cold weather, like you said, it's crept up on us a lot sooner than last year. But for camping aficionados, this is an opportunity to prepare for winter camping season. And I've got to say, on a personal note, I do enjoy going to the mountains and camping sites in the winter, wrapping up really cozy. It's less crowded as well.
And Peter, you'll have a lot of convincing to do. I mean, freezing my butt in the cold is not my cup of tea. I don't know about you guys. Really,
Okay, I will convince you, because I did go personally on the weekend to this campsite, and it's not as cold in the tent as well. It's not your average tent. I am going to surprise you. And it's much more tranquil and romantic than summer camping, because it's not that crowded at all. There are less people. So I'm going to show you ways to enjoy the winter camping season here in Seoul. This time of the year, when December is not so far off, many people gather around the Han River to enjoy the last scenery of autumn. And one of the ways to do that is by going winter camping. Here you have the advantage of looking over the river while being in the heart of the city. To enter, you must have this wristband. Because it's an open space with so many people passing through, you need it to enter and leave freely. In one corner of Nanji Camp, there are carts that are very popular with campers because they help transport heavy equipment and bags.
If you camp often, you become more eager to camp in the winter. It's because it feels warm and cozy to melt your cold body around the fire.
The Nanji camping site is Seoul's largest camping ground, and it's divided into two sections. One where rental tents are available, and the other where you can set up your very own tent. With $14, you can set up your personal tent anywhere and enjoy some simple cooking outdoors as well.
Are you convinced, Minjung?
Not
I
yet.
have a camping heater, so the cold weather is not a problem when it comes to winter camping.
Because of the cold weather, you stay in the tent longer when camping in the winter. So a portable camping heater is a must, and you only need one heater to warm up the air inside a tent.
So you can actually do this even when it's snowing.
Absolutely. And for those who aren't able to bring camping equipment, they can also use the store located within the camping grounds. And you can purchase coal briquettes, grills, vegetables, and snacks. They literally have everything.
I was worried that we didn't prepare enough, but they have everything we need here, so it's very convenient.
To fight off the cold weather, people gather around a campfire, sharing fun stories under the calm winter night. And during the winter, there are less campers, so it's a great chance to enjoy things in a quieter atmosphere.
It's great to come here with friends. We were so busy studying for exams, we didn't have time to talk. But I like that this place provides the opportunity to catch up with one another.
This should be up Min Jung's alley. Located at Achesan Mountain is the Sheraton Grand Walker Hill Hotel.
Okay, a bit closer to a yes now.
And right now we're headed to what's probably Seoul's most convenient camping ground.
You have to walk up the stairs, Min Jung. Can you do
the,
that?
That's the hardest part, but it's only 10 minutes away from the lobby, and it looks like a theme park with a Native American theme. And there are teepees set up everywhere.
Like those tents.
Oh, wow.
And one of the charms here is that you don't need to prepare anything to enjoy camping. And one of the highlights is the food, where they bring you neatly packaged
I'm preparing the food before our guests arrive.
As night falls, the camping begins.
And there you are.
Because they provide everything you need for camping, there's no wasting time setting up, so there's more time to enjoy the experience and just kick back and relax.
So you just bring yourself.
Nothing
and
else
the guests.
is needed. Wow. And this experience offered a quick getaway with my family, minus the hassle of preparation.
Oh, wow. What do you think now, Min Jung?
I'm convinced. That's a nice space inside.
And it runs all year round, but because these are specially ordered thick tents from overseas, you don't need to worry about additional heating in the winter. You can enjoy a safe and warm camping experience, and there is a heater in there as well.
This is the life.
And it was as comfortable as my home, actually a bit more comfortable.
There's games outside?
Yeah, and as if dining in a restaurant, all you need to do is sit down and enjoy the meal.
I love the space where kids can run around on that playground.
Huge, and each tent has its own grill as well, and there's high quality ingredients from beef, lobster, and other vegetables. The menu's super varied.
Now this is really glamping.
And being outside in the winter in front of a warm barbecue is just lovely.
This is not helping my hunger right now.
Look at that. That's just gourmet food.
Okay, guys, here's to family camping in the city. Cheers!
Cheers!
And the best part about outdoor camping is definitely the food. You've got seafood, pork.
여기 오니까 뭐가 좋아?
I really like there's a place with clean air and a snug atmosphere in Seoul. Plus, the food is great, so that makes everything even better.
Here you can eat foods that are hard to prepare at home. Difficult recipes are cooked professionally by the employees, so it's really convenient.
Is that
chicken?
Beer can chicken?
Yes.
That's what that is.
The beer stuffed in there. It's
이거 뭐예요? 비어 치킨이죠. 비어 맥주 치킨이요? 우와. Talking everyone. It's gonna be delicious. 맥주만.
And it really feels like you're enjoying a course meal at a fancy restaurant. And the beer chicken is the most popular dish, and rightly so. It's so tender. And there are also various props for entertainment. This is a smart beam projector where you can watch dramas or movies or even play a video message for romantic events.
That's gonna be good.
Oh, that's the perfect proposal site, right?
Ooh, that's
at the end of the movie, will you marry me?
Yes, and after the meal, the yard becomes a moonlit playground for children. And there are other props with a Native American theme, including hats, necklaces, and other decorations. So enjoy the freedom and comfort of winter camping. This winter, how about checking out a nearby campsite in Seoul?
I didn't know you had a trace of Indian blood.
Neither did I until I put it on.
Those are props that you can enjoy
out.
there
I couldn't
too.
help.
You were a chief in your past life.
Absolutely.
More about how to enjoy the camping grounds.
Well, with both of those campsites, you do have to book in advance. But with the Yangji one at the Hangang Citizens Park, you can only get rental tents until this month, and then they start again in February.
Okay.
But if you've got your own personal tent, you can do it all through the winter season. And if you go to the websites that are on screen now, you can book in advance.
Okay, well, sounds great. That's some information there. Not that I guess they do close in the coldest of the winter months there. Well, Peter, thank you very much for showing us some of the glamping and camping of Seoul.
I hope you do enjoy it, especially you, Min Jung.
I think I'm sold, yes.
All right, but you did work up our appetites. Now we're going to have to see what's cooking, or if it's all done, we'll take it over to Andreas. Andreas?
Well, I'm just getting ready for the second batch of my pancakes, so I just wanted to quickly show you. Very simple, actually. You roll them first in flour, so it's easy for the butter to stick, and then you put them in your pan. So I just dust them with the same flour I use for the pancakes. And then I rub them a little bit with my butter.
That's the first dish?
No.
Or the second
Yeah, that's the first one.
This is the first one.
That's the Korean
Gochujang, okay.
Gochujang, but done my way, so it's a little bit different. I always try to do things a little bit different. Just to bring a little bit color and spice in there, I normally put a few strips of chili there. If you don't like it spicy, you can leave them away.
We're just inviting ourselves over.
Since you're not inviting us.
Nice
Yes,
right?
please come on over.
Okay.
So that's how the finished product actually gonna look after.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I made a few earlier. Put them here again.
Wow.
And that's the cabbage rolls.
Wow, that's your mom's recipe.
My mom always used to make.
Mom's
Yes.
watching.
Yeah, she probably will. So I'm gonna I made you a little tasting spoon there so you can try. And these are things what taste great even after a day being in the fridge. So my mom used to make them actually 1 or 2 days before.
We have to show this.
You can try. You can make this with the Korean cabbage,
Yes,
the
you
pechu
can.
also,
Yes, you
right?
can.
Look at that.
Wow, it's very exotic for me, in my eyes, but yeah, I guess.
Wow.
You want to flip that? Yes,
Should I flip it
go
now?
ahead.
Just go ahead and flip it like that? All
There
right.
you go.
Oh, Young's cooking.
I'm the assistant chef.
I can hire him as an assistant. Very good, very good. So that's pretty much you slowly pan fry them 3-4 minutes, and that's the end product how it's gonna be. So very different, very different. So please let me cut one for you.
I think this is the happiest moment of for me on today's show.
Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. There you
Wow.
go.
Smells fab. What about this? Oh, you cut it
Oh
up
yeah,
like
already
that.
cut. So you just
and then you enjoy
just
it
try.
like that. And
Yeah.
it's pork and
That's with the prawn, correct.
Inside.
Correct.
Okay, packed with nutrition.
Yes,
Great snacks
yes.
for kids also.
Very
right?
good winter
Thank you
dish,
so
yes.
much.
Thank you.
All right, you won't have any trouble getting your kids to eat these veggies now, right? Thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, that's a wrap for today's show.
All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. while we enjoy these dishes. Have a great day.
Yes.
All right. Let's
Thanks
try
for
it.
watching. Bye-bye. All right.